Hey, come on in the room. Class is about to get started. I'm Christina from the Self-Sufficient Classroom, and I am so excited that you are here today. Today is Tech Tip Thursday. Every Thursday, I'm going to be showing you a new tech tip that you can use in your very own classroom, and a tip that you can use for e-learning or distance learning. Today's lesson is going to be on learning how to create your very own morning message slide. Now, whether you're in the classroom, going back to the classroom, or whether we're even going back to e-learning, these morning message slides are going to be perfect for your learning environment, no matter the environment, whether it's classroom or at home. So today's lesson is going to be teaching you how to create your slides. And then in the next lesson, I'll show you, if you're going to be doing it digitally, how you can actually hyperlink and do some more fun things within your slides so your kids will stay on track. Stay tuned for today's lesson. Make sure you click like and subscribe. Make sure you share, and I'll see you in class. Hey everybody, so I am going to show you how to make your very own morning message slide, and it's really not that hard. Your morning message slide is the thing that's going to greet students after they greet you at the door. This is what I love to use in my classroom, and I just have it in different categories where it'll tell the students what they need to do, what they need to work on, and what they can work on if they are finished with their morning work. So we're going to try to recreate this exact slide, and if it doesn't match up, it's okay, because morning message slides don't all need to look the same, right? So we're going to try to recreate this one. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up Microsoft PowerPoint, and once that's open, you're going to want to make sure that you click on design and then your slide size. So the size for this slideshow that I'm doing is going to be widescreen. It's 16 by 9. I like mine on widescreen, and I'm just going to leave it just like that. But if you don't want widescreen and you want to set it up differently, you can choose your width and your height, and you can play around with those right here, and then hit OK, and then you will be able to format your own slide size. So for this slide, again, I'm doing 16 by 9. The first thing I do is I always click and drag, because I'm going to delete these two boxes. I don't need them right now, and I really just want to have a clean blank slate. Once I've done that, I go over to Insert, and I am going to click on Shapes, because I'm going to insert a rectangle. And once I have my rectangle, once your rectangle is on your paper, you're just going to grab a corner of your rectangle and just drag. And I'm just going to drag it so it fills up the whole paper. Then what I do is I'm going to click on Shape Fill, and I'm going to fill it white, and I'm going to also fill the shape outline. That's going to be white as well. Then I'm going to go back into Insert, and I am going to click on Shapes again, and I'm in Basic Shapes now. I'm going to click on this frame. And again, I'm just going to click and drag. So I have my background, which is white, and I have a frame. This yellow box right here is going to allow me to change the thickness of the frame. So depending on how thick you want it or how thin you want it, all you do is click on the box and drag. I think I'm going to go with that size frame. Looks okay. And what I'm going to do is I am going to change the fill of this shape. So if we're going to do a Valentine's Day frame, I'm going to think we're going to use a lot of reds and pinks. So maybe the frame will be orange, just so it doesn't look too girly. I don't want to run my boy students out of the classroom. And then what I just did here was, after I filled this orange, I went and I clicked on Shape Outline, and I clicked on white, because I always like to have a white or a black shape outline. I don't want to have black with orange though. So I click white, and then I go back in. And if you have the newly updated version of Microsoft PowerPoint, you're going to see where it has some options to have different kind of sketched lines. So I'm going to go with the sketch line that is called Scribble. So I'm going to click on that. And you can kind of see how it is scribbled. But what I'm going to do so we can really see it off of the backdrop of this paper, I'm going to lift it off the paper by giving it a shadow. And as you can see there, there is a shadow and there is my scribble. I can also go back into shape outline and I can also change the width of that squiggly line. So I think I'm going to do 2 1/4. There, you can see it a little better. Okay, so that is going to be the border or the frame to my morning message slide. All right, so there's what this is what I already created. And right now we have the same border going on. Okay, and again, if you wanted to change the thickness of your frame, that's all you had to do was click and drag. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now what I'm going to do is I am going to create my text box. So I'm going to go to insert. Oops, sorry. I'm going to go to home and I am going to, nope, sorry, I was right. I'm going to go to insert and I'm going to click on text box and I am going to click and drag until, and then let go. And then I have created a text box. So I want my morning message title that my students first read when they enter the classroom to say, "Good morning, 5th grade." Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to actually change the size. And right here, I just go to home and here are my size options. I'm going to change the size and I'm going to actually change the font. So I'm going to change the font. I have a lot of Amy Grosbeck fonts. I have Perfect Blend fonts, KG fonts, AB fonts. I have a ton of fonts. So anyway, whatever font you choose is perfectly fine. So I'm going with AG Throwing Shade. That is the font that we're going to use. And on this little, on this side right here, on the right side, there's a box. I'm going to click and drag. Okay. Now I'm going to center that. And what I like to do when I am creating my resources, I like to make it as big as I can if it's a morning message slide. And then what I do is I go into shape format, text effect, and then I click on transform because inside of transform, you're going to see a section that says warp. And if you click on the first box in warp, it's going to actually warp the text for you. So it's going to make it all big. And because it's all big now, no matter, or because it's warped now, no matter how small I make this, do you see it's all going to be the same size. It's all going to stay in this box together. Okay. So what's going to happen is I am going to, because I want it to look cute, I'm going to go back to text effects and I'm going to put a shadow on that. And then for each of these letters, I'm going to highlight a letter. Then I'm going to go to text fill and I am going to change the letters to be different color letters. And yes, this is a lot of work. Whoops. This is a lot of work, but in the end, it really does pay off because it just looks so cute with everything being different colors. It looks just, it looks cute. It looks like you took some time to do this, which you did. So then you're going to go ahead and fill all these colors. And then we will move on to our next step. All right, so we have all of our, all of the title is in different colors. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so now what I do is I always create 2 to 3 new rectangles because that's where I'm going to give my students their directions as to what I want them to do. So what I do is I create, which you can create a frame. I've never tried it this way, but we can do it this way. You can create a frame. And depending on, again, the size that you want the frame, you just click on that yellow box. So I think this frame, I'm going to change the color of it. So I don't want it to be blue. I'm going to change the shape fill, and I think I'm going to go with purple. And the shape outline is going to be purple as well. And I'm going to do a shape effect. It's going to be a shadow because, again, I want it to lift off of my paper. So as you can see, that is our first frame. I'm going to go ahead and create another frame, and I can do this by simply pushing Command C if you have a Mac, or you can push Control C if you have a PC, and that's going to copy this text box, or excuse me, this frame. So you click, hit Command C or Control C, that's copy. Now to paste it, all you do is click Command V or Control V, and that's going to paste it for you. So you have the same box. And I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time because I want to have 3 boxes on this morning message slide. And as you're laying your pieces down, if you notice, there right here is a little line that appears when it is evenly matched. If this slide is not evenly matched, the line will disappear. If it is not evenly matched with what is right next to it. Okay, so there are my 3 boxes. Okay, there's going to be instructions in box 1, instructions in box 2, and instructions in box 3. So what I'm going to do now is, before I forget, because I've done this plenty of times, I'm going to change the fill of the middle box. I'm going to go ahead and choose this pretty green, and I'm going to change the fill of the last box, and I think I'm going to go with, let's try a blue and see what that looks like. All right, that doesn't look too bad. So now that I have my frames ready to go, I am going to now include my clip art. So I am going to go to where I keep my clip art. Oops, excuse me. Picture. And while my clip art is uploading, guys, let me tell you, my favorite, one of my absolute favorite clip art artists is Kate Hadfield. I swear I am almost a stalker. She is so huge on Teachers Pay Teachers. The clip art that she has is amazing. As you can see, here's Kate Hadfield in my files, and look, I have so many of her pieces, of her sets. Okay, so it's Valentine's Day. This is going to be a February themed morning message slide. So I'm going to click on her lovey-dovey doodads clip art, and I'm just going to highlight all of them because I'm actually going to stick them all in this document. I'm going to work them out. I'm going to weed out the ones I don't want. So I'm just going to, you see how they all came together? You can easily just click on one of them and move them all to the side. That way you can see what you're working with, and then you can also separate your pieces. So we have a lot that we can work with. Now, of course, we're not going to use all of it. We don't want to overstimulate our students. We do want to welcome them in the morning with a nice greeting, but we don't want it to be too much where they're confused and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So from the pieces that we have here, we can actually decide what we're going to use and what we're going to lose. So let's see. I do think I'm going to go back and use this love because I do like it. It is a bit big. It's a bit large. So first thing I'm going to do is create a shadow on here. So as you can, if you notice, once I click on a picture format should appear. Once I click on a picture format should appear. If that happens, you're going to just click the shadow, which is the 4th box. That looks like a drop shadow rectangle. Now, if that doesn't happen, then you can go into your images and then you can design it that way, okay? So don't worry, if that doesn't happen, you can go into your pictures and you can do it that way. All right, so I like this love here, and again, I do like those hearts. I'm going to use 2 sets of these hearts. And all I did was copy and paste. And I'm not really going to worry if they're hanging off the border because that's not going to show anyway, but I do like to crop my pictures that are hanging off. Okay, so now what I want to do is to switch it up a little bit. So I want this green heart to be over here, and I want this yellowish heart to be over where the green heart is, just because I don't want it to look the same. as the bottom one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this top picture and I am going to go to rotate. And it is going to be, I always have a problem with this one. Let's see if it's flip. Nope, 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 nope. Duh, Christina, why would it be horizontal? Okay, we're going to click on horizontal. It's this last one. Flip horizontal. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to crop, because that's just me, guys. I'm just weird like that. I just don't want anything hanging off. I don't know why. I don't know. That's just me. Don't judge. Okay, so now my hearts are there. So let's see what it would look like so far. What do we have? All right, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad at all. And you know what else we could do over here if you wanted to? You can click, if you click on the picture and then you click arrange. If you click send to back, and then if you click send, or excuse me, bring forward, it'll bring it forward a little bit. I want it in front of this purple border or purple frame, but I don't want it in front of the orange frame. So let's do it again. Let's bring forward. Let's bring forward. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit more playing around with. So let's bring it, we're going to bring it to the front, and I'm going to click on the frame now because I see what's happening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the frame to the front. And then what I'm going to do is bring this picture to the front. And I'm going to bring this picture to the front. And I'm going to bring this one. I'm going to see if this works. Bring forward. Bring forward. Let's see. Bring forward. Sometimes you got to keep. I don't think it's going to work. I kind of wanted these hearts to be in between. But you know what? It's okay. It looks fine. All right, so I don't think I'm going to use this one. That's fine. I can get rid of that. I love how this love is popping off of this page. Okay, I don't need two loves, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Let's see. I have these two hearts here. I can make them a little smaller. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do here. Let's see, what can go in this green box? Let's try this polka dot heart. And again, I like to have shadows on all of my shapes. Put that there. And I don't want this one. I don't want that one. Don't want that one, don't want this one. I was thinking about maybe doing something a little different. Let's see. Okay, so for this one, this shape only comes, this clip art piece only comes with this one shape or this one side. So you can copy and paste, and then you can rotate it. And there you have two more pieces that are different. So let's see if I, oh, look at that, look at that. Okay, that doesn't look too bad actually. That looks kind of cute. Okay, so we have two frames here. Let me move this down. Okay, that looks very cute. Okay, so I don't need this. I don't think I want to put this anywhere. Let me see. I guess I could put it here. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Not bad, guys, not bad. All right, so now we're going to insert our text box because that's going to be where we give our students our instructions, okay? So the first thing we want them to do, obviously, is unpack. Maybe they're going to make a lunch choice. Maybe you want them to get out morning work and then complete morning work. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to go to my fonts and I'm going to click a font that is it's easy to read by all students. So I have a ton of fonts here. The one I like to use a lot is Pond Free Me, and that's by Graphics by the Pond. Okay, so I'm going to make this bigger, and I am going to just inch this over just a little bit. Okay. So now that's the first thing I want them to do. Okay, in this next box, I want them to work on Book Buddy Packet. And then complete their reading response. So they're going to work on Book Buddy Packet, complete reading response. And if they are able to finish those things, then I want them to, then they can have, they can work on I'm through, what can I do? Choice board. Okay, and in my classroom, that's a board that they can move their clip and they can work on something fun. All right, so let's change those numbers out because we want it to start at number 5. Okay, so look at that, guys. We have finished our very first morning message slide. Let's see what it looks like. And just like that, you have your very first morning message slide. And you can use that, as I mentioned before, when your students walk through your classroom door. If you want to learn how to create a digital version that you can push out to your students through e-learning with Google Classroom, make sure you stick around for our next Tech Tip Thursday. I'm going to show you how you can take your presentation and upload it into your Google Drive, so then you can then give it to your students with the instructions and the items and the directions that they're going to need to complete the task at hand. Make sure you like and subscribe. Please make sure you also share. And I'll see you next time in the Self-Sufficient Classroom.